everyone, happy holidays. I'm releasing this on Christmas Day for me, so hello from the future. It is quite bright. I wanted to give you all one more build before the end of the year, and what better than Santa's library, especially from me, a avid library lover and book lover. Just yesterday I spent it at the library. I would 100% spend every day at the library if I could. Not me totally applying for every library job ever, but let's focus on the build. So I wanted to put down the basics before recording this one. I could not for the life of me decide on what walls to use. I ended up going for those snow walls that you see at the back, and I'm really happy with how they turned out, but I didn't want to record that because that was going to take forever. Like, seriously, it took 30 minutes trying to decide, and I did not want that in the recording, so I just set everything up, made a decision, and then the rest of the decisions were in this video. And this is me trying to decide what color I wanted this bridge to be. I was really hell-bent on having this checkerboard pattern because that's usually my go-to, but the different blues weren't really working. I felt like it was a bit blue overload sort of situation, so I decided to go with this grey, but then it just felt a bit morbid, and like the stalagmites underneath weren't looking too good either. And I tried the checkerboard again with the sign and the grey, and I was like, how about just white, just the transparent white? And it looked so much better with the cyan and the white, but I still wasn't feeling that checkerboard pattern, so instead I decided to go for stripes like on a candy cane, and it turns out so much better. So yeah, I'm so glad that I went with that different design. And as a quick tip, you saw me use crystal water there. There is still the bug as of today, like there's still the bug where if you try to use the crystal water bucket from the creative mode menu, it will not release crystal water. Luckily I had a scene from my creative mode before this bug existed that had some crystal water, so I was able to grab that. But yeah, it's super frustrating, and it just gets really annoying. But here I wanted to have some sort of water at the front. I end up not going with the crystal water because I felt like it was a bit too much, but I wanted to use something. I end up going with the basic water because it has this like frosty outside look, and I'm putting some crystal stalagmites down so that there's some sort of texture in the water. It's not just plain water, but I really like how the frosty effects on the water kind of go with that snow ground. And even though we don't see most of it because we have some walls that will be going there, I think it looks really good against the snow ground and against that window that we have as well. I do paint the bridge cyan to go with everything. I think it fits well. I don't think it's too much, and I do paint the windows cyan, but you can't really tell, so I could not be painting it and you wouldn't even know. But here we have more counting. And I do end up putting 4 windows down instead of my usual 3, and that's just because the symmetry was on point. Yes, it was. But up here, I wasn't 100% sure on what I was doing yet. I knew I wanted to have some sort of library section, but I wasn't sure if I was going to actually do it in a down the bottom part, like that we can't see, or whether or not I was going to do it up here. But I'm putting some glass flooring down because I wanted to kind of make sure it looks seamless. But you can't really tell because it's so dimly lit here at the moment. But I actually end up using the crystal water in these mini bridge sections, and I am actually so happy with that. It fits so well. It looks like it's coming off that side, that main bit, and the bridges there aren't painted either, so it just looks very natural, like it was meant to be there. And in these sections I wanted there to be more water, but I wasn't sure on which water. I knew I didn't want crystal water there because we already had so much crystal water, but I was actually considering the mold water just based on the fact that it also has some sort of effect on the outside of it. And these crystal walls that I put down, I was going to go with putting them at the back, but they just got really dark. I seem to have a habit of making my builds really, really dark with walls. But yeah, this is where I'm grabbing the mold water, and it looks okay. I went to go paint it to see if I could try fix the yellowy color that we can see there, but it just didn't look right. And so there, yeah, I'm removing it, and I'm about to use the sunken sea water. I was also going to paint that too, but we decided against it because I really just love the natural blue glow that it gives off. It's not too much, but it's also just perfect enough to go with that theme and add just an extra bit of natural ambience. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I wanted to add some extra pillars. We already had the crystal stalagmites in there, but I wanted to add the high-tech pillars as well, because when you put it in the pits, you get like some sort of glow from it, and I wanted to see if there was any sort of glow that you get while it's in the water. The answer is no glow. There's no glow, unfortunately, but it added some different texture into the water. It added some different contrast as well, so it wasn't just crystal stalagmites in there, and I think it gives character to the water. Like, obviously when we put items on top you're not going to see it, but at the moment it looks really nice. And I really wanted to use that Metropolis gate, but turns out it's not 3 tiles, which would have been perfect. It is 5 tiles, so that was unfortunate. And here I'm trying to make use of these stone tiles, and there was only one 2x2, or is that 2x2, or is that a 2x3? 2x3 I think, but yeah, no, that's a 3x3. Yeah, 3x3, and that was the core one, and I didn't want to use the core, and I also wanted to use this rug, but I couldn't figure out where to put it, so I just like gave up at some point. But if we had the caveling tiles and the other sort of stone tiles as a 3x3 as well as that core one, it would look so good, because the caveling one would have worked perfectly for this build, but unfortunately it yeah, we did not go with any of that anyways. Here I am trying to make use of the gleamwood floor. Like, I love the gleamwood floor and I love that it lights up, but sometimes I just try to use it so much and then it gets very hurtful to my brain and I start getting a migraine from how bright it is. So I had to get rid of it. We do use it later on do not worry. But yeah, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do on that right side, so we came over to the left side, and I really wanted to use a fireplace, but when I tried using the Christmas themed one, it just didn't really go with the library or the bookshelves, so I opted for the caveling one that you get in the Metropolis area. And here I'm grabbing these tables. We come to a bit where I get frustrated and I cut it out because I got very frustrated. But you'll see here I am trying to use the big table and it doesn't fit. And I really wanted to use that big table and I really wanted to be able to rotate it. But no, there's no rotating the Metropolis items. So we had to opt for using another small table in a second, which I was really disappointed about, but we take what we can get. And that pot plant, that moves everywhere. I'm pretty sure we don't even use that pot plant in the end over there. I'm pretty sure we get rid of it. We put it somewhere else, or even just get rid of it permanently. But yeah, I wanted to use these throw pillows next to the fireplace, as if, like, you know, you'd be sitting next to the fireplace, keeping warm. And yeah, it just looks very cute. And I wanted to just not look at those tables anymore. But we put these potted plants at the back here. I wasn't sure on if I wanted to use those or if I wanted to use these new ones. But you couldn't really tell that they were glowing all the way back there. So I moved them to the front, which we then get rid of. Okay, the reason why is it just didn't really go with the theme. The brown pot plant, like the actual pot, didn't go with the theme. And here I'm looking at the pot plants again and I'm like, I hate them. I hate them so much. And I replaced them because I wanted to rotate these hologram boards, but I couldn't. Because guess what? You can't rotate them. And I wanted to put them on the right-hand wall, but it didn't really work. So here I'm trying to figure out where I'm putting these hologram boards, and where they end up looks amazing. But it was just so frustrating to try and work with because I really just wanted to rotate them. Like, if I was able to rotate them where they are at the moment, it would have looked so good. But yeah, what we ended up with the 4 hologram boards, just, it looks great. But being able to rotate them would have looked even better. But yeah, we put these canvas paintings at the back. I think we get rid of 2 of them because it was just a bit much. But I really wanted a white version of those clouds. But the white canvas painting is rainbows, if I remember correctly. And we finally used the rug and the hologram pod. Finally, 2 things that we are finally able to use in this build. And yeah, I'm really happy with the placement. It almost looks like a an assistant coming into the library, and it's like, how may I assist you? How may I help you? Sort of situation. But yeah, I'm putting the loose flooring down now to make sort of a pathway. There is a small bone I want to pick about the priority levels. I put down the loose flooring on top of that rug, but I really wanted the loose flooring to be underneath the rug so that when I painted it, that white bit of flooring was peeking out from under the rug. So I've placed the rug on top of that snow or whatever, or that pathing. but the fact that it was on top of the rug, oh, that's an ick. That's a big ick. It quite frustrated me, but it's okay. It's okay. We got it. And now we're using my favorite item in the game, which is the paintable festive wall lights. I think that's correct. I think it's paintable first. Pretty sure. We were going to go with painting them cyan, but I felt like there was just too much of that color, so I ended up going with white instead, and it gives that snowy, frosty look while it still looks really good. And we put some on the right side just to give more of that ambience as well, and tie it in with the left and the middle as well. And I'm putting it in the hallway. I was going to originally put it in that entrance bit, but we end up putting it at the ends of each side because it wasn't going to be symmetrical and it was going to kill me, and I was going to have to move that snowman, and I did not want to move that snowman. But here we are putting the some natural items like some books, some journals, some screen devices onto the tables to make it look like it's actually habited. And I don't know who's bringing hot chocolate to their library, but if I did that, I would get told to leave. But I guess this is Santa's library and he can do whatever he likes. If he wants to bring hot chocolate, he gets to bring hot chocolate. But I had the idea that on this side, even though I had no idea what I wanted to do, I had some sort of idea that maybe he has some collectibles from his travels. And so I decided to get some of the valuables that are on the pretty side, but also on the valuable looking side, and cool looking side, that, you know, maybe Santa saw these and was like, oh, I'll take that for myself, you know, I'll show this off in my library. And yeah, so I just created this display of sorts, showing off all sorts of cool valuables that we have. And I do stick with 2 caveling masks. I threw a bunch of stuff away, like we didn't end up going with this pearl, but I thought it looked cool at the time, and this opal as well, we don't end up using the opal, but I really wanted to keep those cabling masks in, and we get rid of those stars because I wanted to use the frozen flame. But yeah, I just think that some of the new valuables that we got were really cool looking, and we get rid of the desert diamond because I thought it didn't look very good, and I thought it wouldn't go with the white pedestal as well. It would just kind of blend in. And here we're using none other than the Gleamwood floors, and it actually looks good this time. But it looks like we are coming to the end of this build. I'll just be adding some finishing touches with adding the extra light there, and also adding some candles on the right to brighten up this space. But this has been really fun. I enjoyed doing this build for you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you all have a great holiday and enjoy the screenshots. Goodbye, everyone.